I'm coming your way.
You're making noise.
Yes, I can't help it.
Sorry,
I
guys.
told you I was coming your way.
You get what you pay for.
That's true.
Welcome back to another week with us. Me, us. Right now, I am rinsing 1 can of black beans. If you remember a couple of shows back, I made curried goat with a coconut rice that Roy really enjoyed with black beans. Normally we would cook the black beans, but I've actually got some other beans on the stove for the dish later. By request, Ray, if you're out there, we are going to be doing a vegetarian meal today. This is vegetarian curried vegetables. Really, Michael? Curried vegetables. We are also going to be using a protein supplement. This is the first time that I've used it in this state. This is soya chunks. Basically, it's really large TVP, texturized vegetable protein. Don't snore your nose. You eat it every day and you don't even realize it. It's in so much stuff. Soy protein, soy product, soy powder, soy blah. So, this is what we're going to be doing. I am going to go ahead and do it in a wok, just so it's easier for you guys to see. If you have a pot, you probably want to do that, something you can stick a lid on. I do have a lid for that.
Yeah, I'm popular.
All right. We're going to take care of that, and we'll be right back on In the Kitchen with me, Mikey, and we can't forget our cameraman, Roy. Say hi, Roy.
Hey, Roy.
We'll be right back. That I used are canned black beans, no salt, no added anything. You don't want any flavoring for this. We are going to start our rice first. Normally I do what takes the longest to cook, but trust me on this, the flavors do need to melt. They need to get together and do their thing.
Yeah, they gotta do their thing.
We're going to start with 2 cups of rice.
2.
And we are going to cut the water down because later we will be adding our coconut. Wow, that's why I don't like these and why I kept them put up. Could not remember why they were so hard to find. No, look at the handle. I don't know why that's there. Oh, don't overfill it or it'll go everywhere.
It went on my leg.
I am so sorry.
That's okay.
We'll have to get
I've had
that out
worse
so
on my
you can
leg.
slide.
Well,
He's a farm boy, you gotta forgive him. So, we are doing our rice in our rice cooker. Thank you, Miss Paula Dean. Set it and forget it. Let it do its thing. We're going to start getting our wok heated.
walk this way.
On the back burner, I said I had some beans going. These are green lentils. These will be an added protein. And they are almost done.
This was my first time having lentils.
If anybody has ever seen a really good movie called The Exorcist, there's a certain scene in there. This was used. We'll be right back, show you how to put all this together. You need help.
I need some. Oh, where's that wine at?
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys. Back there, I have some green lentils cooking. You can cook whatever flavor or whatever color of lentils you want. The only difference I really see in them, some are sweeter than others. This is going to be more of a soup when we're ready to serve it. All that's in there is 2 cups of lentils, 4 cups of your favorite broth. I am using a chicken flavored broth tonight, but it's still vegetarian. You do what's comfortable for you. If you want all vegetable stock, go right ahead. We already have our rice going. The amount of rice you're going to want to do is up to you. I did 2 cups. That will feed both me and Roy and give him plenty of leftovers to take home.
Oy vey, the leftovers.
So that brings us to the kibble.
Yes, kibble as in, I'm sorry, to me it's like gravy train.
Well, I can't say that I didn't see that as well. This is the texturized vegetable protein.
Or TVP.
And these are the chunk version, the larger size, which when reconstituted really, really do take the texture of meat. In here, I've got a little bit more than 1.5 cups of, again, your favorite broth, vegetable. Most of your bouillons, believe it or not, are actually vegetarian because it's just fake flavoring. This one, however, is vegetarian.
Now it does look like gravy train.
Oh God! I was kind of waiting for it to thicken up. It won't thicken. You want to set this for about 15 minutes to the side.
Yeah. I can't wait to really try it. I'm not being sarcastic.
It is delish.
Okay. Well, you know, I'll definitely let you know.
Beautiful, isn't it? And I just finished off the wine.
Did you? Yeah, you did.
While we're getting the wine, you should like and subscribe.
Yes, please do. Like and subscribe.
If you're super duper interested, hit the little bell.
Yes, ding ding.
Then you'll be notified when me and Roy post anything new.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
And comment down yonder too.
Always comment.
Yes. And tell us something. Gravy train.
Our TVP balls are fully reconstituted. You just want to squeeze out the excess liquid. And you can see it really does take the texture. Well, you can't see, I guess, the texture. But it really does take the feel of maybe a cooked beef.
It looks better. I mean, I'm willing to give it a try.
Good, because I'm going to have you try a piece here in just a second.
I think I figured that was going to happen.
And tell the world what do it taste like. And by the way, save your broth on here. We are going to use that later. So, tell us, Roy.
Oh my.
It's delish.
Well.
It's delish. So, come over this one.
It's kind of like, you know, you scramble an egg and it gets really, really hard.
We're going to continue to cook it. It'll soften.
Okay, that's just what it tastes like right now.
In my wok, and feel free to use a skillet or a deep pan for this. In here, I only have about 1 tablespoon of oil. You want to brown this up just like you would any meat. Just for a few seconds. Then we are going to start adding our vegetables. Now I've got an assortment of root vegetables. It's getting that time of the year. They're coming on. And these are the most easily accessible that I could find. I did throw a weird one in for you. In here I have 1 small zucchini, 1 small crookneck squash, about 1 cup of carrots, 3 Roma tomatoes, parsley mostly for color, 1 cup or 1 single green bell pepper, about 7 cloves of garlic, 1.5 cups of mushrooms, sliced however you want. And you don't have to follow this. If there's a vegetable you like more of, by all means use it. Just know your cooking times on your vegetables. Onions, a little bit of cinnamon. The spices that we'll be using, of course, is curry. I like Lala's. It's one of my favorite. A more milder curry that I introduced Roy to is Blue Mountain. It's more of a Jamaican curry. I also have some Berber seasoning. It's going to add a little bit more of that curry flavor and a touch of a bite. Let's go check our balls.
Look at those balls.
They're browning up.
Your balls are browning beautifully.
I bet this would make a really good hamburger. I hate you sometimes. So we're going to start throwing in our vegetables. We're going to start with our root vegetables, or I'm sorry, our gourds. These are squash, green bell peppers. And if you guys haven't priced produce lately, don't waste anything.
It's fixing to smell good in here in a minute.
Oh, yes.
Listen to them balls sizzle.
1 large onion. Just a large dice on here. Like I said, about a cup of mushrooms. 7 cloves of garlic. Now, I do realize there are more than that. These are very small cloves. Just smash them. If you don't like such a pronounced flavor, by all means, you can cut them down, smaller pieces, and even cut down the amount. Here in just a few seconds, you'll start releasing some of the moisture. At this time, you want to season your vegetables. I'm not going to go overboard with salt, just enough to start the sweating process, because our stock is going to have salt in it. And so is our Berber spice. Like Roy says, you can add more if you need it, but you can't take it out once it's in there.
Nope. That is looking really good.
Oh, thank you very much. It is pretty. The smell is just now starting to hit with the onions on that almost an open flame. So good. In here, I have our carrots. And the, was that 2 or 3 Romas you did?
2 Romas.
2 Romas.
Wow.
You want your vegetables to cook just for a couple of minutes to really start sweating. Then we're going to add our spices. By the time I get them all together, they'll be ready to go in. This would be a good, almost 1-pot dish, and you probably could do it in, you probably could do it in 1 pot, which I don't see a problem with. Maybe a little bit with the browning, but I'm using a rather large wok. Look what I found, Roy.
Oh, the gator apple.
I'm going to attempt this. Chote.
Chote?
I believe it is a squash as well. We tasted it raw.
It tastes like a bland apple. Or a bland pear.
Yeah, just very
different.
I'm hoping it cooks up even maybe more for a little bit of the texture.
Look at that.
And this really is all vegetable. Just a little sprinkling of your Berber seasoning. This is spicy, so you may want to cut it back, or if you like spice, add a lot more. As a vegetarian dish, to giving it even more flavor, Roy's favorite ingredient.
No, it's not. This is, I put this right with a durian.
But when it cooks, it tastes so good. It really takes on the flavor of cooked onions and garlic really nicely sweated. Roy may not agree with that.
No, because whenever it got on my tongue, it tasted like a fart.
It is pungent.
It was extremely, it felt like just a warm fart. It just, yeah, it was nasty.
That's an interesting thought. This is about a good pinch of ground cinnamon. When I say a good pinch, roughly 1/8 of a teaspoon. 1/8 of a teaspoon of dried thyme. If you can get a fresh thyme, by all means use it. It is delicious. Just use it sparingly. It's one of the rather strong spices. In here, I'm going to do 1 full tablespoon and a half. And yes, that's right. It's the right amount. Trust me. Cooking is about if you like it, add it.
If you can only smell this right now.
It's a very warming scent. The cinnamon. And, I was kind of weirded out about cinnamon in different dishes. And then I found out they're really in a lot of dishes. You just don't necessarily notice it. But it's something that's there. And it doesn't have to be just in savory dishes. Cinnamon by itself, for those of you who may not know, cinnamon by itself is not sweet. It's a rather savory, earthy flavor. Something you do normally smell around the holidays or in a lot of Indian kitchens. Clove, what I think of the winter spices, cloves, nutmeg, ginger to a point, cinnamon, all of those, the same thing that goes in your pumpkin pie. Come on. It's warming to the body, to the soul, and to the taste buds. The last thing that we have to put in will be a little bit of parsley. Try as I might, I don't like parsley. To me, it still tastes like a garnish.
It's smelling good in here.
All right, all of our spices have woken up.
Oh my gosh, yes they have.
If you're not sure about the age of your spices, I'm going to teach you a little tiny trick that you can do. Before you throw your vegetables in, put in your oil, throw in all of your spices, all of them. Heat them up in that oil and then immediately start throwing in your vegetables. Don't wait too long because your spices will burn quick. Over here I have about 6 cups of vegetable stock. You may not need it all. You just want a good, I don't want to say gravy, but a good broth on this when your vegetables start loosening up.
Oh, talking about blooming.
You want to let this cook for
lands.
about 30 to 35 minutes. It will, don't worry about it being too much liquid. You may actually have to add some. But as it cooks, the vegetables, everything in it will tighten up. And this can be served as a stew, or how we're going to do it, all the way over rice. Our green lentils are done. This will be our appetizer. Just a little bit of soup. And if you're vegetarian, serve it as it is. I'm sorry, if you're vegan, serve it as it is. If you're vegetarian, lacto-vegetarian, a scoop of sour cream in this is amazing. I think that covers everything that we are cooking tonight. We're going to let this come together. Roy is going to work his plating magic and make all of my work look beautiful. We'll be right back, guys, on In the Kitchen with me, Mikey, and yeah, my cameraman, Roy. Thought I forget, didn't you?
Man, look at that one.
Our rice is done. To our rice, we are going to add about 1/3 of a cup of sugar. I'm going a little bit less. A half a can of, well, you know what? Let's do them all. With the 2 cups of rice, I think that'll be just fine. Loosen this up just a little bit. Try not to mash up your beans too much because you want those for the presentation. And I think that's a perfect amount. That's just 1 12-ounce can to 2 cups of rice. Now to that, if you remember, we didn't quite put the full amount of water in here because we are going to replace that with coconut milk. And you do want the full milk, not just the, what do they call it? Like the coconut water inside, that won't work. This is actually pureed coconut with the coconut water.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
You want that to continue to cook for about 10 minutes. You can see the curry is done. This will continue to thicken, or you can use slightly less of the broth. But man, this smells really good. You don't want to overcook it. You do want to keep some of the texture to your vegetables. That just makes it more appealing for the eye and for the soul. Oh, that almost sounded special.
It was special.
Just me. So, we don't know how Roy is going to enjoy lentils for the first time. I am going to make him a small serving with a little bit of the sour cream pepper on top. And the rest of it, he's going to do his magic in plating it up. When it's plated, we'll be right back.
Look at that.
Everything is ready. Our curried vegetables look absolutely amazing. They've thickened up very nicely. No, madam. She goes after the rice pot, and there's no meat in here at all today. So our rice is ready, and as you can see, it's very fluffy.
Oh, it smells so good.
Just in case you're wondering what kind of rice I'm using, I've switched everything to basmati now. Use whatever rice you enjoy. This one you see stays fluffy, individual grains, really good. We're back up to a boil. I want to thank you guys for joining us this week. The only thing that we have left to do is to eat.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
If any of you guys would like to join us, now for the next month, we would like to invite you up here. One stipulation. You adopt a cat. Kitten. Beautiful. We have them in 3 stages. If anybody would like pictures, by all means, just ask one of us and we'll send them to you. There's no limit on where you're at. You just have to come here and get them.
Just come here and get a cat.
And you get a great, great meal. In the very famous words of Mr. Bob Barker, please, please, please don't forget to spay and neuter your animals. We'll be talking about that for a while. Thank you again for coming by my kitchen to show you what we can do. For Roy and me both, have a great week.